Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Come on, you have to flex. Get it. Damn, biceps. Nice. Someone was a cheerleader. We had actually started recording.
Yeah.
Only
and
the
that's
intro.
why she told me to flex, because I did it in the other one and then I felt weird about it. But then I realized that my microphone was swung all the way over there, so you couldn't hear anything that I was saying. So
I didn't even notice.
I mean, clearly I didn't either.
Well, it's
This
another
is
episode
Yeah.
of the podcast. I'm trying to remember what we said in the other intro.
The thing is, this is the first time we're doing 2 episodes since we've gone into quarantine back to back.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do 2 episodes in a day. Wow. So who knows what this is going to be like?
Who knows?
We're switching it up, you know, safely. We're adding some spice into our lives. What are you eating?
An assortment of weird things. Well, it's not really an assortment. It's 2
Share with the
things.
class. What are you
Okay.
eating?
Can you see what this is?
Is it grits?
No.
Is it
applesauce?
Oh, okay. Hey, close though. It looks very similar from
Mhm.
here. It looks like, yellow-y and a little chunky.
And got some Mexican hot chocolate that has CBD in it. The daytime formula.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. And I love that for you.
It's a great lunch. What time? I don't even know what time is. Is it lunchtime?
It's 11:16. Anytime is lunchtime if you decide it's
breakfast.
lunchtime.
It's true.
Truly. Who cares? Whenever we want to eat. What's the slogan I'm running on? Eat when you want to eat. Anytime
Eat
is
this
lunchtime.
pussy when you want to eat it.
Eat it. Just eat it. There's a TikTok I have to send you that was something about eating pussy, and it was good.
I'm sad that you didn't send it to me.
I know I need to. I usually do like the bulk once I like have like a couple, and then I'm like, see, like it usually is there's one that makes me be like, oh my God, I have to send this to her immediately, and then it like the rest will follow.
Just send them to me immediately.
Okay, I will.
I just get on and watch my niece.
That's literally part
She's
of Monts.
She's literally getting better. She's getting better at it.
Wait, so do you see the one that I don't know when she uploaded it, but it was a song that is definitely not in her repertoire, but she like by the time that they sang the same lyrics like 4 times, at the end she was nailing it. And I was like,
nice.
Get it, girl. Like we literally go, because usually I just like look at my For You page. I don't look at who I'm following. But now every night, Monts and I get into bed and we do my For You page, and then we switch over to my following, and it is 90% because I follow like 5 people, and it's just 90%.
She makes like 20 a day.
She makes so many.
Half of them don't make sense, but the ones that yeah, true. But the ones that she does like get. She gets them. She's 6, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is so fucking cute. I love the ones with the baby. I love when she puts the baby in them.
Yeah.
And I like that she's now also been using her own audio. She's been like she
uses her own and then uses it in other videos.
It's so funny. It's so stinking cute too.
Yeah.
Like, and I also just love that you're like really seeing the sibling dynamic that she's like, if you get in her shot, out. She'll push you out. It's so funny. I love it. It is such a good time. Also, wait, you have to tell everybody what she said about. So this used to be your brother-in-law's account.
Yes.
And so Melissa had sent me the video of one of her nieces doing like a TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I have to follow it. And then you were like, oh, it's my brother-in-law's account, but switched over. And I was like, okay, let me know if it's, can I follow? Like, let me know if it's cool. Like, is it cool? Can I follow? And you're like, yeah, you can follow. And I guess, I mean, she doesn't have, it's now her account. She doesn't have a lot of followers.
Now it is. She overtook it.
No, yeah, now it's fully her account.
Yeah, like her name and picture are on the account.
It's hers. And so my TikTok is not verified, but it's me. And some people have like figured out and like tagged me and stuff that they're like referencing. I like the trend when people were like, oh my God, like remember old school YouTube? And I'm like, I'm old. But it's just my name. And then my profile picture is one of the pictures from me crying once my YouTube channel got hacked with like the mascara down my face. And there's only one video on my TikTok that is a face morph of me as a baby to Cam and to Cam from Modern Family.
Oh, I actually have never actually played it. I've just looked at the picture of it. Oh my god, you have
to watch it because baby me looks like fully looks like Cam from Modern Family, and so it's that morph. And so tell us what your niece had said once she saw my account.
Yes, because she only has like 2 or 3 followers. And so she saw Megan's account and she said, first of all, she said, who is this? And then my sister said that it was my friend. And then she goes, why is she crying in her picture? And then she looks at Megan's account and sees her baby picture and she said, oh, she's sad because this baby ruined her life.
And also let it be known that she just had another sibling be born. Like, it is like, she's like, I get it. Baby ruined lives. Like, she's like, the baby ruined my life. It killed me. I was dying. This is Don't Blame Me. It's an advice podcast. If you guys want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And we're going to give some advice. And
it's going to be a good time.
Hi, Megan and guest, if there is one. I know because of the virus, there might not be. But so I've been listening to your podcast forever, and I really, really love it. And I am in a really, kind of big predicament here. So my boyfriend that I've had for 7-8 months now, moved in with me in my apartment in March because his lease was up, and we were tired of never getting to see each other. So he moved in with me, and his true colors are showing because he's just not a nice person, I've come to realize. He will body shame women, and he claims he used to be gay, but then he went through some conversion therapy, and so now he's not gay, and he goes around calling all the queer people in that community really bad names. I'm not going to say them on here, but and he is constantly making fun of me for being antidepressants because, so a little backstory, I have a younger sister who's 16 who is in hospice dying of brain cancer and a whole bunch of other kind of stuff like that going on in my life right now. And so I'm on antidepressants because, I need them. I am dying. Well, I feel like I am. And he's constantly making fun of me, saying that I shouldn't have to be on them for life situations and they're not doing anything to help me, and telling me that I'm stupid, basically. And I don't know how to get him to move out of my apartment faster. I have talked to him and pushed him, and he's just not making any efforts. He's 26 years old and does not have any credit. So he says his mom's going to have to co-sign for him and to get a new apartment. And he's just a big baby. I asked him to do anything to help around the apartment, and he says he's a man and he won't do that kind of stuff. And I just don't know how to get him to move out faster. Please help me. Tell me what to tell him to get him to move out. I can't get him to do anything. He says he's going to email apartments, but he won't. He says he's going to call apartments, but he doesn't. And I'm just getting sick of it. He is constantly belittling women, constantly making fun of me for a whole bunch of stuff. And he stays up all night playing video games and sleeps in until noon, doesn't even work full time. And he's just I don't like him anymore. And he knows that. But he's just not making an effort to move out of my apartment, and I don't know how to get him to move out faster. Thank you for any advice, and I hope that you hear this call. Thank you.
Trash. Like, this dude is like beyond trash. He's like a whole landfill of just like rotting garbage. What a disgusting human being.
He is a garbage monster. Like, he is a garbage, like a fucking trash monster. And oh my God, I feel for you so fucking much, because this is like, you know, not to use the words of Ja Rule in an actual serious situation. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, like he completely, and like 8 months, like it's like a pretty quick a time to move in with someone. I would suggest like a year or more of like dating and knowing someone.
You didn't know him.
No, but
and you just moved in because he just moved in because you couldn't see him. Like,
yeah, but even 8 months though for that, I'm like, that's a big fucking
it is. But I'm saying like, yeah, it is a big switch, but like you didn't know this dude at all. And is he on the lease? Because if he's not on the lease, because it's her apartment, if he's not on the lease, you can legally get him kicked out.
Yeah, I also think
unless he's got squatters' rights, depends on the state.
Yeah, but there's no way he would have squatters' rights after that amount of time. He moved into your place, so assume all of this, like, you just need him to leave faster. So you can afford your own rent. You don't need him to live there. Like, it's not contingent on, like, you paying your rent is not contingent on him contributing. If he is fucking contributing anything, like Melissa said, if he's on the lease, like, figure that out. And if he is on the lease and you've already lived there beforehand, there's also like that. Maybe, did she say her lease was renewing and they just added him on? Maybe. Talk to your landlord. If you've already lived there prior to him, your landlord has might have a loyalty to you, especially because
if he's on the lease, then it, like, legally he can't do anything about it.
No,
landlord. Yeah, because if he's on the lease, then it's a binding contract that he can stay there for however long the lease is.
Okay, so if he's on the lease, you have to move.
The problem with that is if he's on the lease, she moves. I mean, and she's on the lease too. He moves. Then if he doesn't pay rent, which he says he can't afford, then it's going to mess up her credit.
Oh my God. Because you're right, she can't break the lease if he doesn't agree to break the lease.
Yep.
That's what my mind was thinking. Oh my God. Okay.
Unfortunately, if he's on the lease, then unfortunately there's nothing legally that you can do about it. If he's not on the lease, then you can do stuff. You can do stuff, but like it's going to mess up your credit. So if it gets so bad and you're just like, fuck credit, I'll take the whatever, then just leave.
Yeah. If he's not on the lease, talk to your landlord, get him kicked out. Change
it might
the
be
locks.
A thing too, because if somebody stays at your place for over like a certain amount of time, if he's not on the lease, then they like legally have to get kicked out.
That's I don't know if it's California, but that's an LA law too.
Yeah, they had it in Arkansas too. So it just look at your lease and see what your options are.
Yeah, and then also look at your state and your county rental laws. If he's not on the lease, talk to your landlord, get him, like, change the locks. Like, he goes out for fucking, goes out to do something, put his shit all away. And yeah, that.
And I don't give a fuck if his mom has to co-sign.
Oh my God. We don't give I don't even give the smallest of shits.
No, like, that's not your problem.
No. And then if he's on the lease and you have no legal ground to stand on, make his life a living hell. Make his life what are his pet peeves? Do them all the time. Are there things that he hates? Is he terrified of clowns? Print out 100 pictures of clowns and post them everywhere. Like, constantly. Just do, like, torment him. Like, you are in Punk'd, you are in Jackass. Like, make this man's life, like, you become his worst fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, he is the villain and he fucking sucks and he's making your life hell. You become the bigger villain. We're not asking you to be a bigger person. I'm telling you to become a worse person than him and make it so drive him to the point of insanity so he has to fucking move out. Like, go buck wild. Like, go.
Like, call his mom. Like, post on, like, social media how much of a shithead he is.
Call his boss. Tell them that, like, do whatever the fuck. Like, literally just stoop beyond, go lower than he's gone. Like, stoop beyond his level, completely make him feel so, like, drive him insane. Drive him to the point of him being like, I need to fucking move out of this place. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, even just, like, stupid little pranks all the time. Like, put, like, saran wrap on the toilet seat. Like, do all of that kind of shit.
Hide
like,
his video games.
Yeah, throw his laundry out the window.
Yeah,
like,
because, I mean, that's woman's work, so it's not like he's doing it anyway.
No. Yeah. And only when you have food, only have your food. Put a padlock on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like, literally do the kind of shit that you're like, oh my God, that's insane. Like, as long as it's legal, you can throw his laundry out the window. That's not illegal. It's not. You can put a padlock on your refrigerator. That's not illegal. Just do all of that fucking shit. Oh,
I'm sorry, man.
And maybe make a YouTube channel where you document all of this.
Yes.
And then post it. And then, like, with his, like, it's, hello, here's your face.
But only do all this if you feel, like, safe.
Oh, 100%. Also, maybe you have a friend move in. You bring it right now. Like, you add a friend onto the, like, just any, like, where there's, like, no room for him. There's and none of that stuff where it's like, it's just becomes another nuisance. But I would also break up if you guys haven't officially broken up yet.
And maybe talk to a lawyer too, because there might be legal loopholes in there as well. Ooh.
Yeah. He might be taking the cake of, like, one of the worst people we've ever talked about on the show. Like, there's obviously, like, really but this is like this is like a scripted evil. Like, this is like a CW teen drama, like, bully. Like, I'm like,
or
what?
like Lifetime.
Yeah. It's, like, also not creative or subtle. It's just like,
I just can't. Like, he moved in because you guys didn't see each other enough.
Nice.
And then now he just, like, turned into a completely different person. Ooh.
I hate him.
Or, like, do you have a friend? How long is your lease till? Is there a friend that you can go stay with until? I know, like, you still have to pay rent, but that's still better than being with this dude.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Be the villain of your story. Moral of the story. And let us know if you need more ideas.
Yeah, I got a ton.
So many.
Hi, Megan, Melissa, and possible guest, even though there probably is not a guest because the world is fucking ending right now. But anyway, so I am a Virgo, Aquarius moon, rising Pisces. And well, my best friend, who is a Libra, decided to ghost me. Now, I have no idea what it was that caused this. Our last conversation seemed completely normal. Nothing really explosive happened. She stopped responding to my texts, my calls, my Instagram DMs, but she still shares her location with me. I could see what she was listening to on Spotify. She viewed my messages and just acted like I didn't exist. So, me being the petty bitch I am, I blocked her on everything imaginable, Pinterest, Venmo, literally you name it, everything. And even texted her mom and was like, bye. Thanks for being a second mom to me. So I just was wondering if you thought that I should have done something different, or should I do more? Like, because in my mind, there's nothing that she can really say to me to make this okay, because that's not something that you do to your best friend. She wanted me to be her maid of honor. She was going to be in my wedding. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't really know what to do. I'm just really upset and angry, you know? So, all right, thank you so much. And let me hear what you've got to say. All right, bye.
We're ghosters. We've said that before. And I think a very, a really natural response to ghosting is to be, it's like when someone gets upset with you, that your response is to be upset with them. And you really rolled with that. And that's fine. But you made your bed, like in the sense of like, she ghosted you. You didn't find out why. I don't know how long the time period was of waiting it out. And yeah, like you fought petty with petty. And that's also how you interpreted the ghosting aspect of it. And I think like, yeah, ghosting your best friend, like that's it. It does seem like a what the fuck sort of a thing, but something happened. Like something, either you did something and she wasn't ready or wasn't able and didn't want to confront it and needed to be done for her own mental health, or also was just like going through her own thing and like needed to cut everything off and like be selfish and wasn't ready to process any of it. And there, obviously that's like a very hurtful sort of feeling, but you responded how you responded. Like, I'm not going to tell you that you did it like right or wrong, but it's also hard to know how long, like.
Yeah, you didn't tell us how long. Was it like, because like if it was like a day, then that comes off like it's really.
Or even like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, but if it was like 5 months.
Also, did her mom respond when you messaged her? I know you said that you said thank you for like being a second mom and bye. Did you immediately block her, or did you wait till she said something? Did she say something if you didn't block her? Because I really think it's something that she's going through on her that she doesn't want you to know about, and she's processing it, especially like in these times during quarantine. We're all dealing with it very differently. And so yeah, I since I am a ghoster, I understand where she might be coming from. So it might just, and maybe she wasn't ghosting you, she just needed some time to herself.
Yeah. And no matter how good of friends you are with somebody, you never know them. Like, we don't even know I say it's like, I don't even know myself that well all the time. Like, there are times where like I respond to something, like to the same situation, respond to it completely different 2 different times. And I think we can feel like as a best friend, we're owed, or any relationship in a life, like we're owed a bigger courtesy than anything else. But that also implies that a lot of the decisions that we're making are like really logic driven versus emotionally driven. So I don't think necessarily it had to like mean something really massive. I I am like, this is also not that I'm playing devil's advocate in this though, but your response of being so upset versus like sad and hurt makes me wonder if you're not saying, but there's something that you think that like it could be tied to something that you said or did that you stand by, and
True.
she's cutting you off for that, and that pisses you the fuck off because you stand by whatever statement or whatever you did, and like you know that that's the right thing and you stick by it, and then she's doing this in response, and so then that's where the anger really comes in. But yeah, I think ghosting sucks, but also I don't know. I mean, like we have no idea why she ghosted you, because I would also say I've had people who like I've ghosted and then they've done that response of like, oh, I'm blocking you, like I hate you, whatever thing, and I'm so resigned from it, like I don't really give a shit. So I think right now, from my interpretation of it, you're trying, especially with texting her mom, everything you're doing, you're trying to get a reaction out of her because ghosting is not satisfying for you. Like there's nothing there, and you're trying to get a reaction to prove that like she cared about you and that your friendship wasn't just like that, it meant something, and like they trying to get a rise out of her. And the more that you can detach yourself from other people's reactions and other people's responses and just do what's good for you without wanting an outcome that relies on somebody else, is what you need to focus on. Because like it's the same kind of thing with like revenge. As somebody who is a big fan of revenge, all fucking about it. And it took me a really long time to understand that like revenge doesn't happen when you are so emotionally invested in it. Because no matter how much that you're like, well, I would respond this way and I would do this, and I need to get them to feel this kind of way. It's never going to be enough. It's never going to be satisfying when you have like skin in the game, like because you can't predict how people are going to react to it. And no matter what, you're investing your time and energy in it. And then if you're not getting any response back, like you just wasted all of this, and then
so much energy
and you've hyped yourself fucking into it, and like you get a rise out of yourself, and like you get this like anger fuel, and then it's never like being completed.
It's never satisfied.
No. So it can hurt and it can suck. But if it's cathartic for you to block her on everything, then can have it be. But don't do anything with the hopes that it is going to get a response out of her, because you can't control that as much as like you obviously like want to. And yeah, maybe she ghosted you because you did something. Maybe she ghosted you because she is going through it, or maybe she just ghosted you because like she decided she didn't like you anymore, and like she's being a bitch and like she sucks. Like there's all of those different options, and you just have to pick which one you want it to be, and then commit to that to being your truth and move on. But it's hard. I'm sorry. That would be really hard. I guess it's
also, how long have you guys been friends? I would think a while if you like texted her mom, but
well, because like if Sydney ghosted me, I would drive my ass to her fucking apartment and be like, "What the fuck?" Like, so that's like the part that I mean, we always give advice from our own perspectives, but especially when it comes in like relationship situations that I can really put myself in it, I just don't. It's just such an odd turn of events. Like the whole thing is just such like an odd, it's just such an odd thing that I don't understand how it gets to that place. Yeah. Oh, but please give us a update, this girl.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm not doing well, personally. I'm really upset because it's about my friend. I've known her since our freshman year of college. I'm currently 22, and so is she. And every year, we have talked about moving into with each other, but she's kind of always backed out, and because of like money, which is fine. I understand that. So this year she was like, yeah, let's move in together. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, for real this time? And she was like, yeah. And like before we had like entertained the idea, but nothing really came of it. Like she's like, actually just kidding, never mind. And this time she was like, yeah, definitely. And now we're 3 months out. My lease is up in October. She currently lives with her sister. And basically she bailed on me, again. And we were about to go apartment hunting. And yeah, I literally was like, she was like, well, I can't move in until January. So I was like, okay, well, in my current apartment, they're going to increase my rates to where I just can't afford it. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll pay all but what you pay at your sister's until January. And she was like, okay, maybe. And she's like, but I need furniture. And I'm like, I can give you my old bed at my parents' house. My parents' house, you know, my parents were fine with that. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to my uncle. He's like, I don't know what his deal is. I think he's like into finance, some sort of finance, you know, position somewhere. And she was like, yeah, he thinks it's a horrible idea. I could be spending that money on college, And I'm like, okay, but why are you just now telling me this? Like, why are you just now figuring this out? I made a spreadsheet and all that jazz and figured everything out, punched the numbers months and months and months ago. And I'm just extremely upset. Like, I was literally bawling because I have to figure something out. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. So I'd love some advice. Thanks.
So I stand by my statement that you should never room with friends.
I don't even think this girl's your friend.
Yeah. I mean, she might be. I think she has like financial problems and she might actually be her friend. And she's just like ideally she wants to move with her, but she just can't financially. She can't. And so like she thinks that she can. And so, but when it actually comes to it, then she can't actually afford it. So and I think she's a little embarrassed about it and won't just come out and say that's what the issue is.
Yeah. No, I think I'm definitely coming at it from a response of like my college experience and like me bending over backwards financially to have people live with me who like were just using me and like didn't really
but
care.
She's not trying to use her though. She offered to pay and she said, no.
No, she originally said yeah.
Well, she said yeah, but then she said I don't think she actually talked to her uncle. I think she just said that to save face.
No, I mean, I'm definitely I am tainted from my own history, but I think you're right. It sounds like, I think, it's one of two options. Either she doesn't want to live with you and like doesn't know how to say it and is just kind of like stringing you along. And this has happened to Lily so many fucking times, like specifically, or she really wants to live with you and like is embarrassed and like is not able to kind of make it work and kind of holds out hope until the last possible second and not in like I'm ripping the rug out from underneath you kind of way. But like, I think just like let her know that this like really hurt your feelings and don't ever live with her and just recognize that this is not, it's just not going to work. And like, and unless like a couple years down the road, she makes a complete 180 and is like, she's the one making spreadsheets and she's the one who finds the apartment and she's the one who does all of that. And like, she's the one who takes initiative. Then like, think about it again if you want to move in with her. But this is not, it's not gonna, I think it's been like an idealized thing that you guys have talked about and it'd be so fun and like you can romanticize all of it. But truthfully, she did you a huge favor. And I've had friends who like I like was gonna move in with and they backed out at the last second and they gave like very bullshit excuses and I was pissed and hurt. And then our friendship like disintegrated, or like I saw that they like were not ready to move it. Like, and they were terrible roommates to the people who they ended up living with and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh cool, I dodged a bullet. So I think you did dodge a bullet in this sense. And I would also evaluate, maybe she's the only person you would have ever offered to do that for. Like, oh, I'll cover your rent for X amount of months and I will give you all this furniture and stuff. But I would also take inventory in your own life if you are offering a lot to your friends, and if you are getting that offered in return, and not just like emotional labor, but like, yeah, if you're like you're moving or something and someone's like, yeah, no, I'll get you a moving truck. We can do all of this kind of stuff. Like if you are like the financially generous friend, because that's not as someone who was that is not a personality trait. Like it's something that like you can be a generous person, and unless you are having that generosity being met to you in return, you are giving from an empty tank, and it will never work. Like it wasn't until I got older that I was like, oh, I have like friends that, not that like money matters in a way at all, but like that was all like when you can like offer to do something for someone and then you're like, oh, this person wouldn't even pick me up from the airport. Right. Like, is this balanced? Is this working like that? But as we say, never live with friends.
Never live with friends. You're in college. I'm sure there's somebody else that, I mean, are you like going physically back to school or taking classes online? But there might be somebody else that's in the area, and then like worst comes to worst, it seems like your parents are still close by, then you can stay with them until you can find some place that you can afford. And you said like you're freaking out because it's 3 months out, but that's plenty of time to find an apartment.
100%.
Yeah.
Also,
I think it's because you're like, you it seems like you like to plan a lot, and then she like messed up your plan. And so your idea of what the timetable has changed, and maybe being a little bit more adaptive can be something that you can learn from this experience.
Mm-hmm. And living with someone as a blanket statement should never be this hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm like chasing a friend down to like find like to like look at this apartment with to send them pictures and they're like not responding. Like if it should be, finding an apartment should be 50-50. Like whether that's like someone who's like emailing everybody or someone who's like going in person and looking at stuff. Like it's not like you have to be doing everything together, but if you're putting all of the effort in, that to me is like, that's a bad roommate does that make? Like I don't trust that to like you to like care or like follow through on like the commitment of this like lease and all of that shit. Ugh, but I'm so sorry. I would be upset too. Definitely been through this. Time for a quick break, guys. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back from our break and we're getting to the rest of the calls.
What happened there?
Your hair's looking bomb.
Hi, Megan, Melissa. I'm 30 years old and I'm calling for dating advice. Back in March when the pandemic started, I met a guy on Instagram. He basically slid into my DM and we connected right away. We started exchanging messages, but then he asked me for my number, so we started texting and eventually calling every single day for like about 2 hours. The problem is he lives in a different town, which is about 4 hours away from me. He told me that when he first messaged me, he thought we live in the same place because all my check-ins show his hometown, but that's because my sister lives there too. He was very straightforward from the beginning, told me that he would love to see me, meet me in person, and take me on a date, and hopefully be more than friends. But given the current situation, social distancing and all, he didn't think it was a good idea for now. We've been talking for over 4 months now, and he keeps telling me that he likes me more than friends and that he's really interested in me and would love to meet me in person. However, 2 months ago, he was in town, but he didn't want to see me. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic and we should be social distancing and all, but we've both been self-isolating. I know he's really concerned about the virus, especially because he lives with his parents. So I totally get that. I didn't make a big deal out of it, of course. We continued talking as usual. But last month, I got COVID, And he was there for me, calling me every day and asking me about my symptoms. He was so sweet. And even though I had a couple of rough weeks, I was able to recover 100%. Well, yesterday I told him that I was planning to visit my sister in September for Labor Day. Of course, I just wanted to let him know because we share everything and I thought it was the right thing to do. Just trying to be polite. I wasn't forcing him to see me or meet me in person. I understand the situation. However, when I brought it up, the first thing he told me is, will you be virus-free by then? And that really hurt me. Of course I'm going to be virus-free. It's been like 3 months since I got the virus. So I was just sharing the news. I understand he's scared and concerned about his family's safety, but of course I'll be virus-free by September. This is the second time that he doesn't want to meet me in person, and I don't know if there's something else going on. I don't want to talk to him directly because I don't want to come up as possessive, and I'm not that kind of person, especially during a pandemic, but at the same time I can't help but wonder if there's something else going on. I'm just confused and I don't know if I should continue talking to him. Any advice would be much appreciated. Thank you, and I love your podcast. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I think to say that like, oh, I'll be like, we don't know enough about the virus. Like there are people who have tested positive, like had symptoms, got COVID, tested positive, made a full recovery in quotes, and have since gotten sick again and tested positive again, and like have been contagious again.
Yep.
So we don't know enough about any of it. Have you guys FaceTimed? Like,
True.
Because I think truthfully, I think it could be twofold. I think like he could be as cautious as everybody else should be being for this whole pandemic. And he could also be a catfish. I think he could be both. Like, I think he could be a pandemic.
What a time to be a catfish, which we will see on the new season.
Guys, if you didn't know, I mean, I feel like you might, I mean, actually, no, because when we recorded our episode with Cammie, we knew.
We knew that she was going to be the
But
host.
not everybody else knew that Cammie Crawford, friend of the podcast, one of our favorite people, fucking love her so much. Cammie has become the full-time co-host of Catfish, and they are doing a fully like pandemic season. Like they're social distancing, doing it from home, like all of that stuff. So fucking so excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But I think this could be a combination. Like I think this could be a combo of this is he, and even like you originally said, it could be like he wants to be your pen pal and we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I don't think it needs to be either or. I think it could be like, it could be, yeah, just the pandemic and that's why he doesn't want to meet up with you. Or it could also truthfully be he doesn't want to meet up with you because of the pandemic, and also he just wants a pen pal or he's not that interested in it. Which I would just urge you in general, like with anyone, when you're establishing a relationship that is not meeting up, which again, you shouldn't be meeting up at this point. I think it's so fucking easy to like slip into, especially like indeed, like in times of uncertainty, to slip into comfort and like solid relationship and stuff. If you're going to start talking to people.
I almost got caught up. I know.
With who? Is it the dude?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
You looped back. Of course. Okay. I mean, I saw it coming. I was like, okay, we made a circle. We looped back. But it's so easy to get caught up in like treating it like a comfort and a relationship through all of this when it needs to be treated like still casually dating. And like, it is a lot of fucking effort to like text multiple people. I think it's more effort to do that than it is to like go on physical dates with like 4 people. But I would urge anybody who is starting to date amidst a pandemic to really keep those, and maybe you don't have those habits in general, but really like broaden that kind of shit, because this is like camp goggles times 100.
Yeah.
Like pandemic goggles are a real thing. And you're getting caught up in all of that sort of stuff that we can forget that, oh, there are other people out there. Like this doesn't just have to be this, but I would like you shouldn't see like like just
no.
I think you don't have to stop talking to him. I think, and I truthfully also wouldn't even have a conversation with him about it, because I think like it is you to say like, is it just the pandemic? Downplays the seriousness of the pandemic and the fact that he does live with his parents and he's expressed like his own boundaries of his safety and comfortability, and the fact that you've had the virus. So then to like even assume that there's more there, I fucking hate when people do that. It's like, and Moss will do that sometimes when I'm like depressed or whatever, and he's like, is there like, well, and I'll like say, if I like know why I'm feeling bad, if there's something specific, and then I'm like, well, is there anything else? And I'm like, no, bitch, that's enough. Like,
Yeah.
It can, and there's no, and like, I don't think that you would necessarily mean it like that, but it, on the receiving end, it can feel belittling, because it feels like, oh, all of the information that you have been so generous to being vulnerable and share with me, I am processing it now and saying that like, I feel like that's not enough to like equate to how you're feeling right now, or all of that. And that's not, it's never Mott's goal. And like, I'm assuming that's not your goal too, but as someone who's been on the receiving end, that's how it can be interpreted. And just take what he says and just be like, okay, I respect it. Like, I respect your boundaries. And there doesn't need to be like a solution to his boundaries or anything that you could do, like, or a time limit to his boundaries either. Like, it is a day by, and like my therapist says it all the time. That's like, yeah, like your level of comfort to the same situation and instance will change day to day. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So you can, and like when Monts went golfing for the first time, which again, far away, is like social distance, nowhere near anybody else. And like my whole thing was like, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, right now before you go, I'm fine. And like, you might get home and I'm letting you know, I might not feel good. Like, I might be super anxious. I might like want to sleep in separate bedrooms for like a week. And like, if I like get like anxious about like the virus, there, like, I don't know how I'm going to react. So I'm giving myself and like giving you the heads up that it's an unknown. So there's just like no solution to solve this at all.
I'm just like, he said, are you going to be virus free by now? He was being so sarcastic, because it was like, are you sure you should be going to see your sister? Is what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
That's a salt. I don't even know how I didn't pick up on that. That's a me response. That's like a salty, like, are you sure? Yeah. Also, I will say the thing that like gets me with this a little bit, and I've found that a lot of people who've had the virus and have recovered and like have had no lingering symptoms and didn't really have bad symptoms when it happened have kind of been like they've been moving on faster than anyone that I've like seen. The mention of Labor Day stresses me out. It's like the same thing of like, because that's a social, 3-day weekend. Like there's like a connotation with events and like a vacation and a break and fun. And it's like, ooh.
Hi, Megan, Melissa, potential guest. I'm 27 years old, and a little background. I've only had one boyfriend. It was online. I was 20 years old, and I then started seeing a guy after that. And it's been about 5 years since I dated anyone. My problem is I tend to only fall for people when I have a friendship with them. So I'm a demisexual. So it's hard for me to like just go on a date and think if I like someone or not. And my brother's been going to my dad saying how he's scared that I'm going to be single forever and never find love. And I've tried to explain this to them, and they don't really understand. My question is every time I try to like someone, every time I become friends with someone, I end up liking them. And when I like them, I'm always considered one of the dudes. And so I haven't been able to get an actual relationship. And I'm just curious how I can go about this, or if you have any advice for what I should do. My family's really worried for me for being single forever, which is what it is. But also, I kind of want to start dating. But it's hard because I can't just get that connection with someone. I have to first gain a friendship before I even think about dating. And by the time that happens, I'm one of the guys and they don't want to date me. So any little bit of advice would help. Thank you. Bye.
I think that, and I'm also not super educated on what it's like to be like demisexual. That's what demisexual. I for a minute thought that maybe what?
I don't know what it is. I actually need to look that up.
I thought for a minute. I knew a girl who was demisexual, and her and I were talking about relationships, and she had suggested to me, she was like, "Have you ever thought that you might be demisexual?" And like I thought, I like traced back to like all of the people that I've like liked and been into, and I've definitely had people who like right off the bat I like will get a crush on them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the big difference from what I know is that like you don't develop those kinds of more than romantic feelings until you're friends. Like versus
you have to have an emotional connection with it.
Yeah. So like I've been people who like, I mean, like the first time I met Monts, I was like, oh my God, like I have like a little crush on you. But like I never like was like, oh, I like you immediately. Like I would then become friends with them and all of that. So I think that's like where like I was like, oh, okay, now that's not how I am. But I can understand an aspect of it. I would break it down for you that like, how long does it take for you to become friends with someone? Mm-hmm. And I think that you can like date. I think it just needs to like, maybe you've been like, maybe because you haven't been dating really, but maybe your friends are dating like guys that are like so not who you would be into. But like for me, I've like gone on dates with guys like where for like over the course of like months, like, and like we were never like boyfriend girlfriend, like we were just like getting to know each other and all that. So I think it depends on how long it takes for you to become friends with someone. And I just think you need to like date people who aren't trying to like wife you up on like the first date. Like you're just getting to know them. And there's so many people like that out there. Like I don't think that that's not that I'm saying there's so many demisexuals out there, but there are so many people who like are very okay with like taking it slow and then figuring out if you like each other. Like we talk about this all the time. Like I don't want to go on a date with someone and have them be like, oh, I'm totally like after the first date, like I only have eyes for you. I'm obsessed with you. Like that's it. And like I'm a Leo and I love attention, but like that I want you to get to know me and then decide if you like me from there. And the same way, like I want to get to know you and decide if I like you. But as someone who has dated, my high school boyfriend was like my best friend. And then Monts and I were really good friends before he was like one of my best guy friends before we started dating. But, and I've actually dated like a lot of friends, but there are also people who I have like gone on dates with and I like, or like I started talking to and I met them and I thought they were really cool and I liked them as people. And as our friendship and the same, they grew at the same time. Like it wasn't this separation. Like I was getting to know them. And as I got to know them, I liked them more and more. And like, it was a gradual, like parallel relationship of like romantic and friendship at the same time. But you just have to be on the same page with somebody. Right. And they can't like
date to get to know people and not date to fuck. And I think it might be like you getting to know somebody might be on a longer timetable, and that's fine. And I don't believe in like friend zoning, which it sounds like you think that's what's happening to you. If you realize that you like somebody, like, are you telling them that you like them, or are you just assuming that they want to be your friend? Mm-hmm. So yeah, take a little bit of initiative and let them know, like, now that we know each other, then I'm attracted to you and I would like to maybe actually date.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Best of luck.
All right. It's time for an update.
Oh, an update? Oh, baby, it's an update. What episode is it from?
I should have a jingle.
Boop, 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 boop.
It's from season 6, episode 5. Her boyfriend had a DUI. What are you doing?
I'm moving. I was agreeing. I remember this call.
Okay. Her boyfriend had a DUI and she would drive him to work, and his ex-girlfriend, the place that he works is owned by his ex-girlfriend's grandfather, and so she's there all the time, and the ex-girlfriend has threatened to kill the caller. And the caller has a restraining order against the ex-girlfriend.
I just like love when like you retell it in a way that it's like, dude, it's like it's so fucking crazy. Like, and then he tried to kill it. Like, it's wild.
Hi, I'm the girl who called in about my boyfriend's ex threatening me, and then like threatening my life, and also threatening to call the cops on me because apparently I violated the restraining order. So, just to clarify some stuff, he can't get his license right now because he would have to. Since he got it taken away, he would have to like completely get a new do the driver's test and do everything again. And also he would have to get an interlock, and to rent an interlock is like $100 a month. And he can't really afford that right now because he has to pay for his testing and his classes and stuff, and that's really expensive. And so like he can't really Uber either because we live in a really, really small town. And there used to be one Uber car, but I don't think there's any now. So even if there still is that one, like it's like would barely ever be usable, I guess is the word. But anyways, sometimes he gets rides to work with his coworkers, but he lives kind of out of the way for all of them. So a lot of times they don't want to go, like leave the house really early to go and pick him up. And yeah, so you guys were wondering where he works, and so he's a logger. So he works at a sawmill, and he goes up and logs. So it's like in the middle of nowhere, and I can't really drop him off of the property because it's like he'd have to walk like 2 miles down the road every single day, which kind of sucks. But and anyway, so about that girl more. So he's only dated one other girl in between me and her. And that girl was also part of that. It's her cousin. And she was part of that too, where she was also threatening me and stuff. And I also have a restraining order against her. And she also used to be like my best friend. But we didn't like stop being friends in like a super bad way. Like it was mostly one of our mutual friends and her stopping friends. And then I just chose the mutual friend over still being friends with her. And I think that's all that I need to clarify. Bye.
So this dude's a homie hopper.
You just need a new boyfriend.
They live in a small town. I think that's the problem, though. She's in a small town.
We need to start a GoFundMe. You need to fucking move to Miami. I just need you.
No, she does not. Not during this pandemic. Florida is terrible.
No, oh, God, you're right. I need you to... oh my God, this is just
go to the nearest big city.
Yeah, like you are the beginning of a fucking romantic comedy, and like this is your origin story. Like this is, and like okay, here's what I will say. This is like a fucking headache and a half, and like there's no fucking solution because like. This is a struggle bus, and like you are driving the struggle bus, and like you need to fucking pull over, kick everybody out, and get a new bus. Like and like your boyfriend has a DUI, so you drop him off, and he has to walk 2 fucking miles,
or even
you drove
like
drunk.
Get like close enough where you don't have to like physically see them. Like even if it's like half a mile away, you wouldn't be able to see them from your car if they're at the building. Drop him off there.
Yeah, but also
still, he got a DUI. That's on him. He drove drunk. He shouldn't have been driving drunk.
Then walk fucking 2 miles every day, like every day, dude. Like you fucked up. Like it feels like you're like babying him when he did something that was so selfish and dumb and reckless and put other people's lives in danger. And his life is intentionally harder right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not your job to make it any easier at all. Like else with the expense of like your own restraining order and like your own mental health and comfort and safety. Like he can walk 2 fucking miles Like, he can, like, it's not your responsibility to figure his shit out. Like, he fucking did this. He did this. He works at his ex-girlfriend's grandpa's company, and he got a DUI.
And hold on, his ex-girlfriend's grandpa's company.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Plus, he used to date that girl's cousin, so it's like double. Is that girl's cousin that her grandfather too?
And she was friends with the cousin.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just, I know that you live in a small town, but like, you shouldn't be, it's not, you shouldn't be dating anybody that was friends with somebody else unless you want to be completely removed from the situation. But you can't be completely removed from this situation.
It's just,
it's messy.
Obviously we're not you, but I'm like, you could tell me this guy has the greatest dick of all time and he goes down on you for 4 hours a day, and I would still say, dick ain't worth it.
Nope.
Like, the pro-con list that I have made in my head, he is never winning. Like, there is not one instance. You could tell me that he ejaculates money. Like, fucking gold.
If he ejaculated money, she wouldn't be in this situation because he could just get a limo.
True.
Or just hire this one Uber driver that's in town for the whole fucking day.
Decided his name's going to be Jim, and he's driving everyone in his Honda Civic. Like, there is not one instance in like, oh, he's such a nice guy. It's all of this sort of stuff. I'm like, this is not, again, like you said, like, I get that it's a small town, but nobody is forcing you to do this. Like, either you, like, if you want to date him, then date him and then break your restraining order and then still be in the life of a girl who threatened to kill you and all. Like, this is
two girls.
It's either all or nothing. Like, you either have to, like, this is my life now, and I've accepted it, and this is what I do, and this is how I'm living and where I'm at, or break up, because there is no solution at all. Let this be your origin story.
Yeah.
Or this is the rest of your life.
So you have to accept it if this is the guy that you see yourself being with.
And you can't accept it with these, like, the conditions on this, and this. Like, you have to accept it as a whole. Like, this, it is what it is. This is it.
Yeah.
Or be done. Well, that is our episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, head on over to iTunes, Apple Podcast app. Leave us a nice, fun
Not
review.
iTunes. iTunes doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, for sure. Podcast app. Leave us a nice review. And follow us on Instagram, our own individuals, the podcast, Don't Blonde Meme Pod. Hit up Melissa on Twitter, fucking
Please.
Fire Comedy. Good times. And if you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And What else? You want to promote another show that you've got? Do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah. I want you to
Melissa,
promote a show.
I will. This is an ad read. #spawn. #ad. As you guys know, Melissa is a producer extraordinaire. And while this is by far her favorite show and the best one and her number one. No, I know. That's why I'm doing it. It's cool. She does a lot of other shows. And I'm a fan of all of them. I'm a fan of your work. And one that you guys should definitely check out is Overshare, which is Lily Marston and Jocelyn Davis's podcast. Started off as a show on their YouTube channel, which was the Shared Network. And it's like a story time podcast. They've got guests on and they dive deep into like specific stories and instances. And it's a fun, good time. And your favorite internet ladies all together doing a podcast. So check it out.
That was great. Actually, a few from the last time that I talked about it, a few people have actually gone and listened to it.
Oh, I love
like they
that.
left comments and just like, I'm here because I heard Melissa and Megan talk about it on Don't Blame Me.
I think it's also fun because someone commented on it. Maybe it was on Grace's or someone tweeted me after like Candace and Kayla's, but it was something about how they were like, Melissa's like so like you like don't blame, like it's like half of this show is you. And so like people they're like, but then I know that like even though like we can't see Melissa, like Melissa's in the background there and I could just picture like you guys all having fought like all of it. And I was like, yeah. I forget which show that was.
It was probably
I've been on both.
I was gonna say probably not too deep, but like we've talked a lot. You guys talked about me too in the other one too. So
and I was like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
And now everybody knows. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows that like you're behind all of them. It's a good time. Anything else?
Nah, we're good.
Woo!
Thanks for listening. Thanks to those who listened to the very end.
Oh yeah. Leave us a fun comment on the YouTube if you're watching to the very end. And if you're listening to the very end, leave us like a fun comment on Instagram or something.
Yeah, but like cryptic so other people don't catch on.
Oh, maybe just say, I can't believe what happened at the very like at the end of the episode.
But then people go listen, you know?
Oh, you're right.
We want it should just be like they drop an emoji.
Yeah.
And then people don't know what the emoji is. What emoji should it be? I think it should be, I asked you, but I have an idea.
No. Mm-hmm.
I think it should be this girl, but like a white one with blonde hair and a black one.
Do it.
Yep.
Leave it as a comment on Instagram if you're an audio listener, and then leave it on a comment on YouTube if you're a YouTube viewer of podcasts. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melissa D. Monts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast, and with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.